Hi there, it's Paige here from Paige Haynes Kinesiology and Frequencies and Flow. And today I'm here to do a little bit of a resonance analysis with our little Healy, which has become a great friend of mine. It's a little frequency healing device if you don't know anything about it. And I'm a kinesiologist and I also teach kinesiology. And so I've found this really handy both in my practice but also in my personal life. And I liken it to having almost like your own personal kinesiologist. If you're aware of bioresonance machines or frequency healing in itself, I have actually done frequency healing for over 14 years. I did that before I started in kinesiology, and it comes through in my kinesiology work. And it's why I became really interested in this, because I've been doing it for years, but just through my hands, essentially. And this little device has given me, it's opened up a whole other world of possibilities. So things like Skio, there's another, the grandfather of this technology is actually called the Time Waver. And these are all pretty big machines. They're a lot of an investment. And this is really the first personalized device that can pick up on a person's resonance. It's really quite clever. And do a biofeedback loop, essentially. So we have a number of programs that we can go into. And within those programs, there's a pool of frequencies. And this little machine is sending information back and forth to choose the right frequencies to help work with whatever the thing is that we're working with. So for instance, it could be positive thoughts, or it might be an acute pain that you have, or it could be a body system, or yeah, all of these different things. But today what I'm going to actually show you is how this particular, the Resonance app works. So the Resonance app is available with the Resonance package within the Healy. So within Healy, there's a few different packages, and I'm going to show you what we mean by the Resonance and what the app is that comes with that. But basically the Resonance allows you to do an analysis of your field to find out what is most important to be worked with in this moment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually share my screen and show you. Here we go. So I'm just going to connect that up. Okay, awesome. And that is doing it. So I am also going to show you, we're going to go into, we have the pink app here, the Healy, normal Healy app, which has all the programs in it, and I'll show you how that works soon as well. But for now, we're going to head into the blue app, or the Healy Advisor app. So we'll open that one up. Now, I was already in here and I haven't switched on my Healy yet, so I'm going to do that. Now, switching on your Healy, it's as simple as pressing down the button. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky, but it's on now. It worked very well for me today. So we press OK. And I'm going to go back to, so it's reconnecting there. Sometimes it can take a little bit of time. And because my phone is nearly out of battery, we might come into a few little problems here, but hopefully not. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, usually you would come straight into the home page. So we'll just go into there now, and you can see that. Now I'm going to actually go into the Resonance. No, now you can set up new clients by simply clicking that clients, and we go in there. I'll just show you quickly, and you can click add a new client. Now, if we just do that quickly, we've got here that you can actually send this Resonance or do a reading on, let me try that again, individuals, animals, plants, organizations, a building, a vehicle, a group, and an other. But for now, let's just show you how to set up an individual. So I'll select individual. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing here, the most important things is, it's pretty straightforward for the rest of it down here, all of the name, etc. Here, you just press plus and you take a photo of the person. So the more information you have about the person, the better it can drill down into that that's their personal vibration, okay? So that's also what this record vibration is about. So I'm going to show you how that works. So just by clicking on that, oops, if I can get it to do it. Oh, okay, no, didn't want me to do that. Okay, we're having a bit of problems here. So let's go again, individual. Oh, no, don't want to take a photo. Cancel. Then record vibration. Right, so it says here to hold the Healy in your right hand, and then you will press record vibration. So this is an important part. Okay, and that's recording that vibration now. So you get your client to hold that in your hand. Okay, so then we can come back up and it will go back into here, and we can add in the rest of the information. Now, one last thing when you're adding a new client is that you always have to click this tick button at the end, okay? And down below here is simply just some more information. Oh, goodness. my phone's really not responding well today. Sorry. Ah! Okay, so that was the client list. Basically, you just have to click that tick up in the top. All right, so we're coming back into, we clicked on this one down here, so it looks like a little heartbeat, and we're going to say resonance analysis. So I'm going to go into that. Now, I'm going to look for myself because I'm here and I'm going to do a reading for myself. Cancel, come on. Goodness gracious, this phone is being crazy today. Okay, so I'm choosing myself there. So Paige Haynes, that's me. And then I'm going to go with continue with database selection. Did I do it? Okay, it's being a little bit tricky. Okay, so as you can see here, we have bark flower remedies, and there's 39 of those. We've got amino acids, which isn't just amino acids. I was just listening to a thing, and it includes other types of supplements and things like that in there as well. We've got Materia Medica, which is actually more homeopathy. We have Australian bush flowers, Alaskan gem elixirs. We have the I Ching and Shusla tissue salts, which means we can actually vibrationally transfer them into our energy field and have a healing in that way. Okay, and these are only available on the Resonance app. Okay, so now coming down, we also have all of the cycles that are available within the Healy. So we have the gold cycle programs, which is what the Healy was originally kind of, or the original programs that were constructed by a guy called Nuno Nina, I think I said that right. Okay, and they're amazing foundational programs. So if you don't know where to start, I would say start there. They're pretty awesome. All of the massive healings that I saw right in the beginning, all we did was go to gold, and I actually muscle tested because we didn't know how to use the Analyze app at that stage. But then we have the pain and psyche, learning, fitness, job, mental balance, sleep programs, skin programs, beauty programs, bioenergetic programs, 1 and 2 Healy Meridians programs, 1 and 2 chakra programs, Healy protection programs, deep cycle programs, and my favorite is the all Healy program. So what that's going to do is tell us which of these programs is the one we want to dive deeper into. So we're going to select that for today, and then we just press start analysis. Now, there is a little fingerprint there, and what I need to do is actually put my thumb or finger on there and intend what I want to focus on. Okay, so all that it is about is not to get your data, as some people might think, to actually record your fingerprint. It's not about that. It's actually about you setting your intention for what you'd like to focus on. So Meridian programs has come up for me as 66% today. We also have at 59% Healy protection programs. And then we have 59% deep cycle, 56% chakra, and 51% sleep programs. Now, I am going to dive into meridians because it's 66%, which means it's the most relevant for me today. Okay, so I'm going to come down here again, and I'm going to select the resonance thing again. So actually, if I'll just show you, if you go to actions, I can show the PDF, and I can also select vibrate there. So show PDF means that I can share that with myself if I wanted to, or if I was with a client, I'll show you what happens there. I can share that with them as well. So that's pretty nifty, and that also comes into where you share where they share their information. So a phone number and an email is kind of important, because when you click this, that will send them what came up for them. And then they can choose to, you can use this, they could use this at home when they're going through their programs, if they have their own healing device, or you can, you can just use it for future reference. All right, so then you would select which way you want to send it. Okay, but I'm not going to send that because I don't really need to. So I'm going to go out of there, and I'm going to come, the other thing you can do is go to actions, and you can select vibrate. Now, if you select vibrate, it means that I am transmitting all of these different programs on a vibrational level to my energy field. So it means I kind of get the benefit of all of them, which is kind of cool. Now, because it's not something chronic that I'm facing, it's more of a, in the moment type thing, which we term as acute. If I was going to transmit this energetically, I would select down here, in here, just for 37 seconds, and I would start that, okay? And I would actually do that quite a few times a day, 6 to 8 times a day, for me to get that benefit of that, okay? And the way that I would find that again, if I was to come back 6 to 8 times in the day to do that, and all I need is my Healy turned on and the program running. So you can see that that takes the 30 seconds there. So this means I'm kind of getting a little dose right now of the full kind of thing, really, which is kind of cool. All right, so that's going there. And actually, I'm just going to press stop there. But if I wanted to find that list later on, that's now stored in my list. So if I go in here and select lists, it comes up at the top and it's my All Healy Programs one. So it's this one here. Okay, so if I wanted to come back to that and do that another 6 to 8 times during the day, I could do that for the 37 seconds. All right, so let's go back. We're going to click backwards on lists, and we're going to go back down here to this resonance part again. And this time we're going to go resonance analysis, and we're going to drill down on that meridians because my body chose meridians. So now I know I need to know more information about my meridians or what next to do. So I'll continue with database selection. And now instead of choosing all Healy programs, I'm going to choose my meridians one just to see what is the most important for me today. Again, this comes up, and so I'm setting the intention for whatever's the most important thing for me to come up today. Okay, so this is really interesting because I ran a program earlier today and heart came up as the one that, sorry about all of these notifications coming up, heart came up as the one that was the one I would be working with today. So it's still really high, it's only 1% lower, but small intestines also came up. So obviously, because I did my analysis earlier in the morning, obviously between now and then, I have had some small intestine issues going on. So right now I know that small intestine is probably the one that I need to work with the most in the Healy Meridian Programs 1. So just knowing what I do know about small intestine, I do know that I have digestive issues going on. So it kind of makes sense for me. Sorry, that's just timed out. And the heart one kind of ties in with another one I did earlier today, which was about, my chakras. So, okay, I am going to run with the small intestine. So what I would do now is actually jump out of there. Oh, again, I could come down to actions and I could show PDF again, or I can vibrate that again. So I can go into there. And again, I can choose that 37 seconds. Oh, and the other ones that actually came, oh, this is really interesting because all of these came up for me earlier today, except that small intestines now become more relevant. So heart, allergy meridian, connective tissue, fatty degeneration, and small intestine. So what I'm going to do is actually give a little transmission to myself right now about that as well. Okay, so you can see as you drill down, you get more specific on what's needed. Okay. So I'm getting a little zap of that anyway, which is going to work on all of those meridians that are out of whack, okay, which is perfect. So we'll let that run. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come out and we are going to go into the Healy Programs app, okay, and I'll show you what that looks like to start as well. Okay, we'll just let that one run, fatty degeneration. All right, excellent. So again, I can find that list in here if I want to. If I came back to the home page here and go into lists, I'll be able to come back to that reference later on. And if I slide to the left, I can either delete or rename that one as well, but I'm not going to do that right in this moment. I'm going to head back. I'm going to double click out of there. Ooh, got lots of apps open. And then I'm going to come into the Healy Pink app, which is down here. Don't mind all of my apps there. Time to do a bit of a cleanup. Okay, so now we're in the Healy Programs app in just a second. Now, as you switch between apps, sometimes the Healy will turn off. So I'm just going to show you turning that back on again. That work. Yep, there we go. So that's come back on again. Oops, up to there. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so now it's asking me for a disclaimer. So I'm going to say next. Oops. All right, so it can see that it's saved that I was in fatty degeneration before, which was also in Meridians 1. But if I go back out again, you can see all of the programs here, okay? So as we go down, we can see Meridians, chakras, protection programs, bioenergetic support, all of these different things. Okay, but Meridian 1 is the one that came up for me. and small intestine was the one that came up for me. Okay, so what this is showing me here now is that my program duration is 51 minutes, that it's best to be delivered by the bracelet electrodes. So that's what these look like. They're little bracelets and the electrodes click onto them. So I'll show you that getting set up. So I'm going to pop the bracelets on and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. And then what we need to do is press start on there. Hang on 1 second. I'll do that so it can transmit it. All right, so we press this start button here. Oops. Okay, and what that's doing is transmitting the program to the Healy. So what that means is, after that happens, we no longer really need the phone for the Bluetooth, but we do not need it connected to internet. So I actually use an iPod for mine, and it means it's not connected to the internet. It doesn't have a card, or it's not connected to data, but that's okay. It means that I can be in the car, I can be walking around, as long as I've got that iPod within 10 meters of me, because it needs a 10-meter range to connect to the Bluetooth, that it's fine. I can have that going and I don't have to have the internet or Wi-Fi going, okay, once it's transmitted this program. So that's what it means about program transmitting, and that means the program's now coming off the Healy. So often I will pop this on here, and then you just plug these little things. So you can see that I've done that. Oops, it's just fallen down. Okay, so you can see that there. You can see my cleavage as well. Sorry about that. All right, and I'm going to plug that in and then plug that into this side as well. Now, a couple of things, and you can see here that it's black at the moment. This will go white in just a minute. But the couple of things that we need to know for it to go white is sometimes, my poor phone, sometimes it needs a little bit of water, so you can wet the bracelets down. So I've got a little bit of water here. I'm just going to see if that makes that go white now, because sometimes it just needs that extra contact, and then sometimes it actually needs you, because you can see here that I'm just on 15% right now. So I'm going to up that to, I always go to 100 and then I come back down depending on how much I can handle. Ooh, I'm starting to feel the tingles right now. Okay, so sometimes this will be black. Okay, now it's gone white. Usually when it's black like it was just then, it means that it's not connected fully. Okay, so like I said, either a little bit of water on the electrodes on your wrists or the bracelets, you can wet the bracelets down, or you make sure that you check the connection between the wires, okay? Now, the other thing that can happen is if you go out of range of the Healy, of the device. So if your iPod, your phone or your iPad somewhere separate to where you are, so if you go out of that 10-meter range, it will also go black, but it'll also drop out. It'll drop the Healy out. Oh, and that's just for some reason paused. So that's the pause button. If you actually press in the middle here and look at that, it's gone black again. So that's interesting. Not sure what's happening there. Okay, there we go, we're white again. So sometimes also between the frequencies, it will switch as well. So there's a couple of things I want to show you that are happening here. Now, you can pause it. So if you need to go and do something, you can just click in the middle there. Oops, do that again. Oh, why is that not doing? Okay, and when that little X comes up, you know that it's paused. So if you need to take it off, so for instance, I've been in the car before and I needed to jump out and I didn't want to look like a wally walking around with my Healy on, although it's a nice advertisement sometimes, but not in the general supermarket. So I've paused it, taken my electrodes off and gone in, done my shopping, come back, and then just pressed in that middle again, like I've just done there, and it just picks up where it left off, okay? Right, so what I'd like to do is just wait. So what we can see here is the countdown happening for that small intestine meridian, and we're at 842.8 hertz. But what you'll notice is that that changes, right? So what it's doing at the moment is just scanning the body, and very soon a percent progress will come up down here, and that will mean where the body is in resonance with that particular frequency. So it's really quite clever. It's reading the body and reading the pool of frequencies, because each program, so for instance, the small intestine has a pool of frequencies that it can draw on to help support the small intestine. But every single person is different. So my body will have a different small intestine program than what my mum's body will, for instance, or my son's body will. Okay, so no two programs, even though they're in the small intestine and within that, hello, my little one's coming to say hello, no two programs will be the same because it's drawing on a pool and it's whatever's most relevant for me. Yes, darling?
I want you to get me a peanut butter and honey sandwich.
Okay, no problems. Can I just finish this? All right, so I'm just waiting for that to come up, and I might just up that to 100 just because I can. And oh my goodness, I'm feeling tingly. So the different things that you will feel with this will be different for everyone. If someone's super sensitive, and obviously, look, it comes with a bit of a warning with kids. So kids is, I do use it on my children, but you do need parental consent because it hasn't been tested for children per se, and the same for pregnant women. There are some other restrictions which I'd encourage you to make sure you check the manual before that. Pacemakers are a no-no. Epilepsy is a no-no. Also, putting it anywhere near implants, you can't do as well. So there's a few other different things there. So you'd have to read it quite closely. But yes, obviously, if you're working with a kid, you would start on a very, very low frequency and build up from there. And it's funny because the different frequencies, and I'm not sure why it's not bringing up the progress. It might have something to do with the fact that my phone's low on battery. I'm not sure. Or it might just need to get a few more minutes into it. And so the different frequencies have a different intensity as to how you can feel them. So it's quite cool because sometimes you'll be like, whoa, I can really feel that, like I can right now. And then it'll switch to a different frequency and you'll be like, oh, is it even connected? You know, some people don't feel a thing. Other people feel like jumping out of their skin. So it's really just a personal thing. But as you can see, this frequency is shifting the whole time. And I'm not quite sure, but generally a percentage will come up here. So I'll just tell you about those percentages when you see them, because I've never really calculated when they start to come online. So I'll explain what they are. But basically there's a negative 95 to a positive 95, okay? And all that is it's reading your resonance with that particular frequency. So once it reaches 95, it drops out of the program. It means that you no longer need it, okay? So you might see something at negative 95, for instance, and any other thing. So for instance, right now, I'm not feeling that at all. Isn't that funny? But now I am. So yeah, if you're at negative 95, it just means that you'll probably spend a lot, it'll keep coming back to that frequency until you reach a positive 95. And that might not happen all in the one program, which might mean that you might need to run this program if it comes up for you again. And if it's a chronic issue, like if digestion's been a chronic issue for you, you might have to run small intestine over a period of time. Okay, also just so you know, this is delivered by microcurrent, which you probably guessed like this. So it's similar to a TENS machine. The difference is that we have access to 144,000 frequencies within the Healy and the Healy programs. Okay, and it is a single current microcurrent frequency. Yeah, healing. So, okay, it's a single current at this stage, which is similar to the TENS. However, like I said, has a much broader range than what the TENS is. Okay, so it doesn't look like this is going to show up for us today for some reason, but if you do happen to see the negative and positive percentages here, it says progress. It doesn't mean the progress of this as such. It means the progress of your body aligning to these frequencies. All right, I think I might leave it there for today, but thank you very much for joining me. Again, my name is Paige Haynes. We have a Facebook group called Frequencies and Flow. If you're interested at all in anything at all to do with Healy, then jump in there. The group really is about raising your vibration as much as it is around the frequency work of the Healy. So I share a lot of information in there. I run this group with my friend called Emma, and we just love everything vibrational and high vibing and keeping that vibration high. So come and join us there at Frequencies and Flow in a group in there. But yeah, shoot me any questions that you have. More than happy to help. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying your Healy journey. Much love. Bye.